Hi, I'm Kevin, a speech-language pathologist here at Super Duper Publications. And this is the Weber Core Curriculum Vocabulary Card Sponge Sheets Level 2. And it's designed for children in grades 2 through 4th grade. Now this reproducible companion workbook contains 104 pages of activities to help teach and reinforce the 100 research-based vocabulary words that you'll find in the Weber Core Curriculum Vocabulary Cards Level 2. And this is the box that you see here with me. In these cards, we're not only going to have the vocabulary cards, but we have 4 subject areas that we target. These will include language arts, science, math, and social studies. Each subject area contains 25 core curriculum words that students need to know in order to build confidence and success in the classroom. And each of the activity pages helps students improve their vocabulary skills, following directions, and their comprehension of these basic but very important vocabulary terms. So let's take a look inside the workbook to what's included. Now, as you notice when we first open the book, you'll find a table of contents. Now, this table of contents lists each subject area, as well as the 8 different types of activity worksheets, and then the corresponding workbook pages to make it easy to find your activities for that session. We're also going to include a parent helper letter, and this is a letter you can send home with the student with their homework and have the parent sign indicating they assisted their children with these activities. Now you'll notice I mentioned we have 8 different types of activities to work with the students. These will include definition matchup, vocabulary comprehension, WH questions, vocabulary in context, categories, phonological awareness, spelling, and writing definitions. So if we take a look at a few of the examples, first off in the language arts section, you'll notice for the definition matchup, if we look at page 3, on page 3 it'll say language arts treasure chest matchup. Here the items are listed at the top of the page, and at the bottom we're going to have the definitions. So we have our vocabulary terms at the top and the definitions at the bottom. We'll simply cut out the definitions, and then the students will match the appropriate definition to that vocabulary word. Moving over to the vocabulary comprehension, we can turn to page 7. Now on page 7, you'll notice we have a question on one side, and then we have 2 answers on the right. So now the student will listen to or read the prompt, and then actually give us the correct answer that they think it may be, whether it's answer A or answer B. Now moving on, we'll go over to the math section, and in math we're looking at WH questions, and we're also looking at the vocabulary in context. So for this we can look at page 35, and this is going to be our WH question sample. So for this you'll notice question 1, what repeats itself over and over again? And then the student can choose either A or choose answer B. Looking at a sample of our page for vocabulary in context, we can move to page 37. And on page 37, you'll see it says math, sentence completion. So for this, we have all of our vocabulary words across the top of the page. And then we have our sentences down at the bottom where we'll fill in the missing word. For example, number 1, water freezes at 0 blank. And the students will look at their vocabulary choices and of course fill in the sentence with the correct word. Now moving on to the science section. For science we can look at categories and phonological awareness. So in science, we'll look at which one does it belong for the categories. So in each of these items, number 1, we have 3 presented objects. This is going to be mineral, predator, and prey. So for that, the student will look at the items and they will identify which vocabulary item does not belong. Also in that section for phonological awareness, in these activities here on page 68 and page 69, we're going to have 4 items at the top of the page. on both pages. At the bottom, on page 68, we're going to identify the vocabulary words, and we're going to match those with the vocabulary word at the top of the page that has the same sound at the beginning of the word. On page 69, we're going to do the same activity. We're going to match the vocabulary words at the bottom of the page with the words at the top of the page. In that, now we're looking for the words that have the same ending sound or the same sound in the final position of the word. And then finally, we have our social studies section. And in the social studies section, we have different pages for spelling as well as writing definitions. So for the spelling page, you'll notice along the left side, we're going to have a visual representation of the word. And we'll also have the letters of the word that are scrambled and mixed together. So the student will look at the letters, they will unscramble them and write them in the appropriate spaces provided. And then on page 101, on 101, we'll have the actual visual cue. We'll have the vocabulary word under that picture, and then the student will write the definition out to the side. So this is the Weber Core Curriculum Vocabulary Cards Fun Sheets Level 2. Again, we have 104 pages of activities to help teach and reinforce these 100 research-based curriculum words that we find in our Core Curriculum Vocabulary Cards Level 2. So if you'd like to learn more about the Core Curriculum Cards Fun Sheets Level 2 or any of our other core curriculum cards, please visit our website, superduperinc.com, and even visit our Facebook page. We would love for you to share your thoughts and ideas on how you can use these products with your students.